Hey guys, it's a new week, so welcome back. Jump on into this. So, first order of business finished save loading. At least for now, there's going to be more work in the future. Things like new systems that need to be save loaded, but that's a lot easier since I can just do that as I'm making it. But also, I'm going to need to develop save slots other than the quick save slot later on when I have the menus made. But for now, I've got quick saving done, and it all works pretty well so far, so that's nice. Now, this is a little deceptive here, the finished save loading bullet point. That seems like it's just kind of a minor thing, but that's just because if I included everything that I did, it wouldn't even be able to fit on the screen, so I had to consolidate it a little bit. Next up, fixes for player save, healing, and death. So it had a little bit of a problem where if you died or were healing and you saved, well, if you saved and you died and then you loaded from being dead, then some weird things would carry over. So this way, it's consistent now, so you don't have that bug anymore, which is nice. Improved save performance. I'll include this separately from finished save loading. Really, it was just trying to decrease the amount of overall time that it takes to save, which was there was some redundancies in it that I took out, and once I took those redundancies out, saving went from maybe like a quarter second of a pause to just instant. Save loading now that I'm done still is instant, and it's actually kind of jarring, which is kind of strange, but it works very well now, which is nice. Improved the code for doors. The code for doors before was just a little wonky, and I managed to kind of clean it up a little bit so that now the doors have less room to mess up, and they also just work a little bit better. They're a little snappier with the sound effects. They move more efficiently, and there's just less code overall in the door code, which is always a good thing. Art for Steam. So, Steam, getting your game on Steam actually takes a decent amount of work beforehand. That before you can even get it to a to be announced point on there. So I had to do a whole bunch of artwork for it. Like if you look at your Steam library and you look at your games, you'll notice there's there's some cases where you will see a little wide rectangle. Sometimes it'll be like tall rectangle. Sometimes it'll be a tiny image. Sometimes it'll be a much bigger image. You have the image when you select it in your Steam library at the very top where it shows the picture with the game title, and then the store image. And there's even special images for when your game gets on the front page, for when it gets recommended, and for when it gets promoted. So it was a lot of work, but I'm actually really happy with how the graphics turned out. So that was actually pretty nice. Also took some screenshots of the game for this store, so you've got those to look forward to as well. Fixed bugs with ammo display. So before, there was some issues with displaying the ammunition when you would switch between some weird weapons that didn't really use ammo. So in some cases, like if you're using a Molotov, for instance, and you run out of ammo on it, and then it would switch you to an unarmed weapon that it's technically a new weapon slot, but it's treated like the Molotov. But the ammo counter for that was a little wonky, so got that fixed so that now the game will accurately reflect the ammo of the weapon that you have. And I actually managed. I didn't include it in here, but it actually improved the efficiency that it displays the ammo, like when it updates the ammo, so that now it feels much better. It feels much more responsive, so that's also pretty good. Hide crosshair on certain weapons. Yeah, so some weapons don't really need to have the crosshair. Things like the melee weapon, things like the unarmed weapon, those don't really need a crosshair. So That came with some bug fixing in itself, where it would sometimes cycle off of the crosshair when it shouldn't, and it would sometimes turn the crosshair back on when it shouldn't. So managed to fix that, so now that's working all consistently, which is nice. Airstrike code efficiency. Oh boy, that is. I don't want to get too into it because I don't want to spoil too much for the game, but that code was a little bit of a mess, so I managed to clean it up some more, which is very good. Which I mainly cleaned it up for the save loading because there were some weird things to have to save in there, and figuring that out actually meant making the code a little simpler, more efficient. So in the end, it worked out. Crosshair bug fix. That is just what I mentioned earlier, where it would sometimes show up. Like if I switched to a weapon that one of the wonky weapons, like the IED detonator and the unarmed weapon, then it would just kind of switch and it would get desynced between the different weapons. So got that fixed. And finally for this week, blood pools spawn under enemies. Yep, so whenever you jib an enemy now, it'll spawn a blood pool underneath them that makes a wet sound effect and everything. When you step through it, it'll cycle between certain decals, and it records which decal it wants to save, or it records which decal it is at the time of a save. So it remains consistent between saves, which is pretty nice too. It also will alternate its scale and rotation, so it gets a little bit more use out of all the decals that it uses. And a little bit of variation is always nice. So that's about it for this week. I don't really have a video to show you guys because it was really just straightforward. Most of the week was save loading, like you saw. So you've already seen that. So I think hopefully the Steam images and the screenshots will be enough to hold you through for next week. But for now, I'm going to jump off. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Make sure you follow the Twitter account, and I will see you guys next week. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for watching.